All right, welcome everyone to this explainer. Today we're zeroing in on an issue that's basically living right at the heart of modern industrial facilities. We're going to dismantle this condition known as operational blindness and, more importantly, see exactly how the PRO4 IoT platform cures it. In these massive factories, we've got incredibly complex data being generated literally every single second. But the real question is, how do you take that chaotic industrial data and actually shift it into simple, understandable, and, above all, actionable digital intelligence? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down for you right now. Let's get right into it. Think about this for a second. Which of your production lines is actually consuming the most energy? Or, hey, exactly when and why do unplanned downtimes just suddenly spike out of nowhere? If you're a plant manager or an operations director, these are the exact questions keeping you up at night, right? We hear them asked every single day on the factory floor. But incredibly, they almost always remain completely unanswered until it's way too late, usually when those dreaded month-end cost reports finally land on your desk. These might sound like simple questions, but honestly, they're sitting right at the center of major operational crises.
So how are we going to solve this? Well, here's our 5-step roadmap for today. First up, we'll look at the data illusion crisis. Second, integrating production and energy. Third, the end of manual reporting. Fourth, the rhythms of actionable insights. And finally, step 5, empowering executive decision-making. It's a structured, predictable framework, so let's dive right in step 1.
Okay, let's dive into section 1, the data illusion crisis. Before we even talk about a solution, we really need to clear up this massive misconception floating around the manufacturing sector. Look, everyone kind of seems to think that if we just slap more sensors onto a factory floor, we're magically going to get better insights. But honestly, that is a total illusion. Modern factories already have SCADA, ERP, MES systems, you name it. They're already churning out this relentless, massive ocean of data. Generating the data is absolutely not the problem here. The real everyday headache for executives is the total inability to turn that disjointed data into fast, meaningful action. When those systems aren't actually talking to each other, you don't get intelligence. You just get operational blindness. And let me tell you, this blindness, it is incredibly expensive. There are 4 major hidden costs to this data illusion. Number 1 is delayed reporting. That means you're always managing reactively. By the time you actually see the data, the financial damage is already done. Number 2, your systems are scattered and siloed. Production literally has no idea what finance or energy is doing. Number 3, and honestly this is arguably the single most expensive hidden cost in any modern factory, is the crushing burden of manual Excel reporting. All that copying, pasting, and the totally inevitable human error that comes with it. And finally, number 4, a complete lack of action. You've got gigabytes of data just sitting on servers, but no real answer to the question, what do I do right now? Moving right along, here is section 2, integrating production and energy. So this is exactly where the PRO4 IoT platform steps in as the cure for that blindness. Think of it as a true real-time digital control center. It's built specifically to bridge the gap between all those isolated systems. What's really interesting about this is that it doesn't just passively collect data. It brings 2 absolutely vital pillars into one single view. On one hand, you have production tracking, real-time OEE, downtime analysis, efficiency trends. And on the other hand, energy management. And hey, it's not just electricity. We're talking water, natural gas, and compressed air, which, by the way, is a massive hidden cost in manufacturing. By combining these 2 pillars, you can literally see the exact energy cost of a specific machine's downtime in a matter of seconds. It's a real game changer because true industrial efficiency only really happens when production and energy are managed together. Which brings us to section 3, the end of manual reporting. Once you finally have that integration, it completely transforms how people actually work on the factory floor. I mean, we're looking at 2 entirely opposite worlds here. The old way? It's just agonizing. You've got highly paid engineers logging into a dozen different systems, manually copying and pasting data into Excel, trying desperately to merge it all. And they end up creating these reports that are basically outdated the second they hit save, not to mention the huge risk of human error at every single keystroke. Now, compare that to the PRO4 way. Zero manual intervention. The system just automatically delivers real-time data straight into the inbox of the decision maker. Getting rid of all that human error and reclaiming those valuable engineering hours, it is just a massive leap from a really sluggish past into a fully integrated future. All right, let's look at section 4, rhythms of actionable insights. A factory isn't just static. It has a heartbeat. And this brilliantly illustrates how an automated reporting system has to map directly to that operational rhythm. Otherwise, you're just going to overwhelm your team with noise. So daily, you get your instant alarms and production summaries. It tells you exactly what happened today and if there's a fire to put out. Weekly, it zooms out a bit. You get to compare efficiency across different lines and spot the broader trends. But monthly, well, monthly is where the magic really happens for management. You get this deep dive, equipment-level ROI and total energy cost analysis. And the best part? It doesn't just generically tell you your energy bill is high. It can actually pinpoint one single inefficiently running machine out of hundreds on the floor and show you exactly how its downtime spiked your bill. It literally pulls those hidden losses right out of the dark.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, empowering executive decision-making.
At the end of the day, guys, it really doesn't matter how perfect your software is if it isn't actually accelerating human decision-making, right? The whole goal here is getting the right data to the exact right person at the perfect time. And I absolutely love this quote right here. Your reports are ready while you drink your morning coffee. Think about the sheer relief in that. No more waiting around for someone to compile data. No more stressing over whether someone broke an Excel formula. The system just works all night, filtering through gigabytes of complex data. Kind of like brewing a perfect cup of filter coffee, actually. By the time you sit down, open your laptop in the morning, you are starting your day with pure, empowering clarity.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative question. Are you going to continue losing time, bleeding money, and wasting valuable engineering hours just waiting around for manual, error-prone reports? Are you going to stay in the dark with operational blindness? Or are you going to let smart automation actually work for you? Because honestly, tracking production and energy doesn't have to be this tense, stressful, manual process anymore. It just doesn't.
If you're finally ready to cure that operational blindness and you want to see what this real-time control can do for you, the next step is simple. For detailed information, please contact us at info@pro4technology.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Here's to a digitally empowered, fully visible future for your factory. Catch you next time.